Okay, so today we're going to talk about the parabola. So let's look at the definition of a parabola. The parabola is a set of points equidistant from a line called the directrix and a point not on the line called the focus. So try this. So put me on pause and then come back and check your answers. All right, so in the try this it says, given a line and a point not on the line, draw in all the points equidistant from the line and the point. All right, so here's my point that's not on my line. So where would a point be that's equidistant, which would mean the same distance, from both the point and the line? So the obvious one would be this point right here, the one that's right smack in between the point and the line. So that's not the only point. There's this point right here and this point on the other side, which would have the same distance from here to here as it is from here to here. And same thing from here to here as it is from here to here. And then there would be this point here and this one and so on. So that's how we get our parabola. So on the parabola, this point here is called the vertex, which is the turning point. This point that's not on the parabola, that's called the focus. So notice that the parabola is hugging the focus, meaning that the focus is on the inside of the parabola. So we call that the parabola is hugging the focus. This is concave up because it's pointing up. And the line is called the directrix. All right, so let's take a look at the other side. So I would have these points that would be equidistant from the point on, not on the line, and the given line. So this point here would be the vertex. This is the focus. Notice that the parabola is hugging the parabola is hugging the focus. This is concave down, because it opens down, and this is the directrix. Okay, so now let's talk about the equation for a parabola. So this would be vertex form. So this is a different form than the beginning of the year. This is the form that you learned last year in Algebra 2. So it says, write the equation of a parabola given the focus and the directrix. Or it could be focus and vertex. Okay, so let's talk about the formula. So the vertex form for a parabola is, this is what you learned last year. It's x minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k. Notice that it's only this first parentheses that's squared. Okay, we do have 4p here. hk is the vertex of the parabola. Now, the other formula is the same thing. It's just this second parentheses is the squared, and what's here on the left is now on the right. So the difference between them, this is for a parabola that's opening up or down, so that's concave up or concave down, and this parabola here is for a left or right opening, so it opens left or opens right. So those are the sideways parabola. But hk is still the vertex, and it's positive h, positive k, and in the formulas it's negative h and negative k, so just make sure you change the signs. P is the distance from vertex to focus, and it has to be in that order. It has to be vertex to the focus. All right, so let's see how we're going to tackle these problems. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to draw a picture. We're going to determine if it opens up, down, or left or right. You're going to determine the missing piece. So if you have vertex and focus, you're going to determine the directrix. You're going to find P. Remember, P is the distance from vertex to focus. Plug in the vertex and P, and then simplify your 4P. All right, so let's see here. It also says down here, these two stars, this is how you can tell if it opens up or down or left or right. If the x's are the same, it's concave up or concave down, so you have to use this formula. X's are the same, that's the parentheses that you're squaring. If the y's are the same, it opens left or right. So then you have your y minus k squared. All right, so let's take a look at what we have here. So it says, find the vertex form of the equation of the parabola. So I have a focus of 2, 4 and a vertex of 2, negative 3. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a picture. All right, so I'm going to plot 2, 4. That's my focus. And I'm going to plot 2, negative 3, which is my vertex. Okay, so now you're going to determine if it opens up, down, left, right. So this obviously has to open up because your parabola has to hug your focus. So it has to look like this, right? And notice the x values are the same. So that means I know the formula I'm going to use is x minus h squared is equal to 4p times y minus k. All right, so now let's find, since we know it's concave up, and my P is from vertex to focus, right? P is equal to, since it's going up, it's equal to positive, and count the boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. P is equal to 7. So my directrix would be actually be down 7. So go down 7. That's negative 10. That would be my directrix. So y equals negative 10 is my directrix. That's your D. Okay, you don't need the directrix to write the equation, but that's how you would find the directrix. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to write the equation. So I have x, so it's going to be x minus h, so that's my vertex, which is 2, negative 3, so that's your hk. So it's going to be x minus 2 squared equals 4 times p is 7, times y plus 3. So that's x minus 2 squared equals 28 times y plus 3. So the last thing is you have to be able to identify that line of symmetry. So remember, the line of symmetry is that line that goes right down the middle that splits the parabola into 2 equal pieces. And so my axis of symmetry, or my line of symmetry is x is equal to 2. And I want you to notice that in the formula here we have x equals x minus 2. So that's the same number, it's just opposite. So it's x because of this number here. And then it's opposite of that. So it's x equals 2 is your line of symmetry. All right, so let's take a look at number 2. All right, so we have a focus of negative 3, and a vertex of 2, negative 3. So we're going to draw a picture. So I have 2, negative 3. And that would be my vertex. And my focus is negative 3, negative 3. That's my focus. All right, so this is concave. So remember, my parabola has to hug the focus. So it has to be opening up to the left here. Okay, so the space, the distance from vertex to focus is 5. So P is equal to, now since it's 5 to the left, it's going to be negative 5. So my directrix would be 5 to the right, which would be at x is equal to 7, would be the directrix. All right, so since it's a sideways parabola and my y values are the same, I have to use the other formula, which is y minus k squared equals 4p times x minus h. Now notice it's the y now, the y parentheses that's being squared. But this is still the vertex. The vertex, which is 2, negative 3, is still hk. So make sure you plug it into the right spot. So it'll be y plus 3 squared equals 4 times p, which is negative 5, times x minus 2. So that's y. Just going to change this color here. So that would be y plus 3 squared equals negative 20 times x minus 2. And what would be my line of symmetry? This would be my line of symmetry. which would be y equals 3. And notice it's opposite of what's inside the parentheses there, and it's a y equals negative 3. Okay, so let's flip it over and take a look at what's on the back. Okay, so on the back, we're going to work backwards. So you're going to be given the equation in vertex form. You're going to have to find the key features. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to identify the vertex. You're going to find the value of P, draw a picture, find the focus. Remember, P is the distance from vertex to focus. Determine which way the parabola opens. Use P in the opposite direction to get the directrix. Okay, so let's start with the vertex. So my vertex is 5, negative 2. So now since it's my x that's being squared, the parentheses, it's x minus 5 squared, that's opening up or down. All right, so 4p, now remember this number here, 8, is 4p. So 4p is equal to 8. So that means p is equal to 2. And what that means is from vertex to focus, you're going up 2. All right, so now let's draw a picture. So I have 5, 2 is my vertex, 5, negative 2. It's my vertex. P is up 2. So remember, vertex to focus, vertex to focus. So it's going up 2. So it's up 1, 2. This would be my focus. And down here, then down 2 would be my directrix here. And then it is concave up. Okay, and then the other thing that we would need the line of symmetry. So let's write the formula, though. Oh, we have the formula, so let's just write down our key features. So I have my vertex is 5, negative 2. My focus is 5, 0. My directrix is y equals negative 4. And my line of symmetry, well, I could get that right from here. Remember, it's opposite that, though. X is equal to 5, and that makes sense because it's right here. X equals 5. Okay, so let's try 2. All right, so notice in number 2, we have the y plus 9 is squared. So that means it's opening either left or right. All right, so my vertex, remember, it's hk. So this is my h, and this is my k. So it's negative 5, negative 9. So 4p is equal to negative 20. So p is equal to negative 5. So what that means is a vertex to focus. Now, since we're going left and right, it's negative 5. It's to the left, 5. All right, so let's draw a picture now. So I want to draw negative 5, negative 9. So there's my vertex. All right, so my focus now is going to be to the left 5. That's going to put me at negative 10. So that's my focus. And then to the right 5 would give me my directrix, so which would be right there. So this is concave to the left, so it'll be like that. Remember, it's hugging the focus. All right, so let's write down our information. So the vertex is negative 5, negative 9. My focus is negative 10, negative 9. My directrix is x equals, because it's vertical, 0, because it's right on the y-axis. And my line of symmetry, which splits it right in half. So my line of symmetry would be right here, which would be, remember, it's opposite of that. Y is equal to negative 9. Okay, so flip it over, and let's take a look at the last piece. Okay, so what we're going to work on is given the standard form, and we're going to put it in vertex form to find the key features. So to start off, you're going to group the x's or the y's. So if you have your x squared, you're going to group the x's together. If it's a y squared, you group the y's together. You're going to move the x or the y and the constant to the other side. So if you're grouping your x's, you move the y. If you're grouping the y's, you move the x. You're going to complete the square, stop at the point right before you're going to square root both sides. On the non-quadratic side, factor out the GCF so that the leading coefficient is 1. And then follow the steps from before to find your key features. All right, so I'm going to group my x's together. So it's going to be x squared plus minus 4. Minus 4x equals, I'm going to add 4y and minus 12 from both sides. Now I'm going to do half of negative 4 is negative 2. Squared is positive 4. Add it to both sides. We get x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 4y minus 12 plus 4. So we're going to factor the left side. Remember, you get the same parentheses. So it's the number we got when we did half of b, which was negative 2. So it's x minus 2 squared equals 4y, and that's negative 12 plus 4. And negative 12 plus 4 is negative 8. Now on the right side over here, that's not in the right form. You need to have the y minus h. So you need to factor out the 4. So it's 4 times y minus 2. So it's x minus 2 squared equals 4 times y minus 2. All right, so I'm just going to move everything up a tiny bit. All right, so let's identify the vertex. So the vertex is 2, 2. 4p is equal to 4, so p is equal to 1. That means from vertex to focus, it's up 1 unit. All right, so let's draw a picture. So I have 2, 2. So there's my vertex. All right, so it is my x that's squared, so it is concave up. So I'm going up 1. That's going to give me my focus, concave up. And my directrix would be down 1. So there's my directrix. All right, so we have here my vertex is 2, 2. Focus is 2, 3. Directrix is y equals 1. And then the last thing is we need the line of symmetry, which is right here. That's x is equal to 2. Remember, it's opposite of that. Okay, so let's take a look at the last one over on the left. Okay, so I have my y is squared. So this is going to either be concave left or concave right. So it's y squared plus 6y equals negative 8x plus 15. So it's half of 6, which is 3, squared is 9. So it would be y squared plus 6y plus 9 equals negative 8x plus 15 plus 9. Okay, so now on the left we're going to factor. So it would be y plus 3 squared equals negative 8x plus 24. And on the right side we need to factor out the negative 8. So it would be y plus 3 squared, factor out the negative 8. Negative 8 times x minus 3. All right, so my vertex is negative 3, 3. 4p is equal to negative 8. So p is equal to negative 2. So that's vertex to focus. Since it's opening sideways, it's going to be to the left 2. So let's draw a picture. So my vertex is negative 3, 3. So there's my vertex. Vertex to focus is to the left 2. So I'm going to the left 2 here. That's my focus. My directrix will be to the right 2, so that would be right here. Right, so that's concave. So remember, that's concave to the left here. And let's just write down our information now. So I have here my vertex is negative 3, 3. My focus is negative 5, 3. My directrix is x equals 0. And the last thing is I need that line of symmetry. And here's the line of symmetry. So that would be my line of symmetry would be y is equal to 3, and that, remember, opposite of that. Okay, so that's it, and have a good night. Sorry it was too long.